All right, this is a little bit of commentary over the winter drone footage that I filmed back in January. It was 2 months ago. But this video also is going to talk about, it's going to talk about a number of things. In part, it's going to talk about some of the work that still needs to be done on the property land-wise, like that chunk of dirt and that pile of rocks and logs. But also, I'm going to introduce the garage and some drawings of that. But first, let's take a little walk up the driveway. Yes, come on. There we go. And as we do, of course, we see the remainder of the logs that we still have to do something about as we come up the driveway. And as the drone zooms over the landscape, we also see a nice little close-up of the most recent rock wall right here that was built by Jim. And that looks absolutely incredible. This drone shot is pretty much parallel. There you go. A bunch of boulders there that I'd like to make maybe another retaining wall with. As we come up through here, there's a couple things to talk about. First of all, where I'm standing next to the truck, that's going to be the site of the... That's right, yes, the solar panel carport. More on that later. Another big ticket item and something that needs to be done before construction of the garage is going to be to remove this trench, this stream, this ditch that's right through the middle of the property. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. This site is going to be where the house will eventually stand. But back to the site of the carport, 3 of the 6 footings that we poured at the end of last summer, 2022, are still visible. And the other 3 are rather buried under silt and sand, and this aerial shot shows you an incredible way of how the rain just brought it all down and actually covered 3 of our footings. But I think the most important part of this video is to talk about where I'm standing in this shot, and that is where this summer I will be building the garage, better known and hitherto known as the CyberHütte. And here's a quick little view of what it will look like in that space. And that's something that we can extrapolate on a little bit with some of these renderings that I've just come up with. So here's an exterior view of the garage. This is the south-facing side. The morning and afternoon sun there hitting those solar panels. The morning side, the east side here, we've got a beautiful deck under which will sit the heat pump. And then on the north side is going to be this garage. Plenty of good roof overhangs. This is the darkest side. It's shielded a lot by the hillside, and I got a lot of shading, so not much glazing on the west side. But here again we see the south. Okay, the garage as drawn, and these are preliminary drawings. Point of the video here is to get a lot of feedback from people. But the garage will be able to host 2 vehicles. I've sized the height of this room at about 10 feet. The garage serves 2 purposes. If we take a look at it again without any vehicles in it, it's going to be part workshop. And then also a place to house all of the mechanicals. So we will have water treatment, energy storage, inverters, batteries, etc. A heat pump water heater hidden behind that small wall. And there's the heat pump water heater that you can see. A door seals off the garage to the living space up above, reached through this set of stairs. And as we climb up, the first thing will be a wood stove and, of course, the piano, which fits under the pitch of the cathedral roof. And here's a little view from the piano. Doesn't that look nice? The living space seen from the opposite direction has a small sitting area, and that will either be a futon or a pull-out couch. And there it is seen from just above the stairwell. Across the way towards the east side of the building, we're going to have a small little kitchen. It'll have a 2-range or perhaps a 4-range induction stove, a countertop oven, and a sink, no dishwasher. I actually went on IKEA and spec'd out the kitchen. And this little design here with all the cabinets, the range hood, the sink faucet hardware only came to $8,000, including the fridge and the range. I thought that was pretty good. Behind it is going to be a small but utilitarian bathroom, incorporating large format tile, pretty amply sized shower with a glass door. I'd like to have that vanity and the toilet and the bidet, because why not? Gotta have a bidet, as floating. So they'll be wall hung, and the plumbing will be in that wall. That'll be a 2x6 interior wall. Here's a bunch of exterior shots, and that is the proper background too. So that the background pictures there are taken from my land. We've got sort of shed dormers on the north and the south sides of the garage, just to give extra headroom for the living space. The dimensions of the garage are 30 foot by 30 foot. I'm planning on using the Nudura XR35 insulating concrete forms. They have supposedly a nominal 35 R rating for insulation with the 6-inch concrete core. Metal roofing, about 5 kilowatts of power for solar on the roof. A fair amount of glazing on the south side. Very little on the west side, like I said. When we talk about the land once again, as we move further north, we can see that big ditch. And that's something that I need to remove and kind of divert the stream. Here's a little close-up of the amount of water in January that was coming down through the culvert, under the driveway, through that central stream, and it's really not a heck of a lot of water. If you want to compare that with the amount of water that's coming on the principal stream on the west side, there we go, there's a close-up of that, there's quite a bit more, and I think by going further up the hill and diverting that stream just a little bit higher, hopefully we'll do a decent job. All right, so the drone is taking off up into the sky over the site of the CyberHütte, the garage. And then, of course, where the red truck is on the left, that's going to be the site of the solar carport. That's going to be another solar panel array, and we'll have conduit underground, taking the high voltage power over to the CyberHütte, the garage, where it will be one of the arrays controlled by the charge controllers and the battery management system to charge the batteries that are going to be in the house. And here's the dramatic pan away, and that's the end of this little recap. Thanks for tuning in.